Hi everyone and welcome to our next CEM pre-recorded lesson. This is going to be lesson 7 and we're going to be covering off the content that is in block 6 and hopefully you're in year 5 if you're watching this video. So we are in week 4 and then we're going to be looking at lesson 7. This is going to focus on verbal reasoning and a little bit of English in terms of closed passages as well. So let's bring up the slides. What I am going to do is just put Billy in the bottom corner just so it's easier for you to follow. So let's have a little look at what we're going to be covering off. So we are going to be doing a spelling test first of all. So that's the first thing we're going to start with. And then we're going to be looking at various different sections in your Let's Practice test book. So let's start off with the spellings for this week. Now we are looking at week 3 words and it's the common prefixes that we're concentrating on. So we've got auto, circum, trans and micro. So hopefully you've got your spelling book ready. I'm going to then call out the 12 words and I'm going to ask you then to write them down. Question 1. Can you write the word autobiography and autobiography? Question 2. I'd like you to write down autograph. Write the word autograph. Number 3. I'd like you to write automation. Automation. Write the word automation. Number 4. Circumnavigate. Circumnavigate. Write the word circumnavigate. Number 5, circumstance, circumstance. Write the word circumstance. Number 6, circumvent, circumvent. Write the word circumvent. Number 7, I'd like you to write the word transatlantic, transatlantic. Write the word transatlantic. Number 8, transparent. Write the word transparent. Number 9, transplant. Write the word transplant. Number 10, microcosm. Microcosm. Number 11, microfilm. Microfilm. Write the word microfilm for number 11. And the last one, number 12, microscopic, microscopic. So hopefully you've managed to write all of those words down. We'll just reveal them now just so you can see the answers. You can now check them through and see how you've got on. So there we go. Any words that you don't know, then please do record them down underneath. You can just go down through and check that you spelt them correctly. So autobiography, autograph, automation, circumnavigate, circumstance, circumvent, transatlantic, transparent, transplant, microcosm, microfilm and microscopic. Now in actual fact during the live lesson we will spend a little bit more time talking about those prefixes, obviously what those prefixes mean, but hopefully you've been able to do those spellings and you've been able to get most of them right. I certainly think just learning the first part will obviously really help and then you can just add on the extra part of that word. So I would break it down into those prefixes first and then adding on the additional parts. Well done. Let's move on now to the main part of our lesson. We are going to be looking at close passages, and we're also going to focus on antonyms as well. So we've got two things that we're going to concentrate on here. So let's bring up the first part. Now this is really important that you make sure you've got the right multiple choice sheet. That's really, really important. And we're looking at Test B paper 2, and this is still in the Get Started. This is the last paper within the Get Started section. And we need to be looking, first of all, because we're going to be looking through this part of the multiple choice sheet, we need to first of all look at close. So that's on pages 72 and 74. So make sure you've got that bit ready to go. So let's come down here. So we are looking at pages 72 and 74. And we need to focus on the close. Now, what we would suggest you do, you're going to time yourself for 10 minutes. Obviously, during the live lesson, we'll use the audio. But if you time yourself for 10 minutes, work your way down through those 20 questions. So if you haven't done it yet, you can have a go down through now. So pause the video and have a go down through this close section. So make sure you're on the right pages, 72 to 74. Right, let's have a little look at the answers. Now, do these answers together. So we obviously, with these, as you know, we need to read it through and then establish which words we need to use from the top. And I always look at those words first just to make sure that I understand them. But we are only going to use each answer once. So what we can do is cross it out if we've used it. Berlin is the capital of Germany and one of the largest something in Europe. So it's clearly going to be cities. It's one of the largest cities in Europe. It is located in the northeast of the country, close to the border with Poland, lying on the something of the River Spree. It has a population of approximately 3.6 million. So the River Spree was actually mentioned within the passage there, wasn't it? So A, it's the banks, on the banks of the River Spree. Berlin has a temperate climate and is full of forests, something gardens and lakes. So we're looking for parks. So parks, gardens and lakes. Locals love to spend warm summer evenings and weekends relaxing in the parks with their friends and family. The city prides itself on its emphasis on culture. Hopefully you got that sense from the video. And it's home to many museums and opera houses. So as you're going down through, do give these a tick. If you couldn't work out what word to go in the gap, obviously move on. It's far better than wasting time just looking at one specific answer. Move on and try and do the ones you can. The recent history of the city is fascinating and unique. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, a wall, something, the eastern and western parts of the city. Well, something like divided, there we are, divided the eastern and western parts of the city. This partition was something almost overnight, was built almost overnight, and travelling from the east to the west of the city was forbidden. Therefore, something were separated for decades. Many families were separated for decades, only to be reunited when the wall was torn down in 1989. So as you can see, I've used all of the words there, and hopefully you've done really well with that passage. But I do hope the video helped a little bit, just to give you a bit of background on Berlin and what a lovely city it is. Right, moving on to the next part. So there are 10 questions there. So what you could do, you could just record your score out of 10. And then we're going to move on to the second one. So this is a letter of complaint. So again, having a look at the words at the top to make sure you know what they mean before you start reading. So let's read what this letter said. Dear Mr. Jones, I am something to you to complain about the I am. Now what's he doing? He's obviously writing a letter. So we're looking for writing there. I am writing to you to complain about the something treatment I received in your restaurant last week. So he's not happy. So it's unacceptable treatment. I do not usually like to make a fuss, but the service I experienced at your establishment was atrocious. My something and I had been very much looking. So we're looking for a person and its husband. My husband and I had been very much looking forward to our meal. However, when we arrived, we were told that there was no record of our Now they've obviously made a reservation or a booking. This came as rather a shock as I booked the table myself only a few days before. We were something seated after half an hour's wait, but our orders were not taken for another. So E is going to be finally. We were finally seated. We're not taken for another something minutes, so 30 minutes. We needed a number to go in there for A. By this time, we were ravenously, now obviously hungry. Alas, the food was poor quality, my steak was overcooked, and my husband's chicken dish was tasteless. So we're going to rule out dish. The mood was spoiled, and our evening was ruined. I sincerely hope you are able to address these issues so that future patrons of your restaurant are not made to suffer in the same manner. Yours sincerely, Mrs. Butteridge. So hopefully you got all of those words in the right place, and you were able to, I would certainly suggest at the end, reading it all back through to make sure it flows if you've got time left at the end. So you can record down now the next 10 marks. Right, we're now going to move on to page 80 and 83. We're still in Test B, Paper 2, and we're going to be looking at our antonyms section. Now, for this particular section, you have 6 minutes to work down through. So we're going to be selecting the word that is opposite in meaning, and hopefully you're also recording it down on your multiple choice sheet as well. So, if you do want to pause the video at this stage, you can. And then have a go for 6 minutes. Time yourself for the 18 questions. Right, let's go down through the answers. So we've got major and minor, minimum and maximum, freeze and melt, niece and nephew, front and rear, so rear is the back, sharp and blunt, you might describe a knife as being blunt or sharp, so they're opposites, stop and start, teach and learn, defend and attack, elementary, so that's elementary and advanced, that would be opposites. So an elementary course is like a beginner's course, and advanced is obviously for someone more experienced. Import and export, horrify and delight. Compulsory, so you have to do it. Voluntary, it's not mandatory, you don't have to do it. Succeed and fail. Smooth and rough. Lose and find. Create and demolish. Assist and obstruct. So, what we'd also like you to do next, please, is learn your test 4 words. So please do make sure you look down through. Now, we did prefixes this week. This week, you'll be focusing on common suffixes. So please do that. In regards to your homework, you're going to be focusing predominantly on Cloze passages. We did a few Cloze today. This will be the first time you actually use this book for this block, so please make sure you use that. And also, if you are able to get to the you can do some problem solving within the Complete Results Booster Let's book. So it'd be great if you can do that. And finally, there is a website here, www.freerice.com, which is fantastic for synonym knowledge. So if you have an opportunity to do that, that would be great. Thanks very much for watching this video. Hope you found it useful, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you though in your next live lesson. Take care of yourselves. Bye.